Hey, we're live for another daily drawing club, the raddest drawing club on the planet, Draw or Die Company. I am DJ Coffman. I've been a cartoonist for many years. This is my morning warm up, my morning daily drawing club. Whether you're watching it on replay or not, this is how it works. Our agenda will be I will have a daily drawing challenge here for myself mostly, but I'm sharing it with you all too. I don't expect many people to join the 7 a.m. stream, but this is here for you to kind of inspire your day, kick off some drawing, and draw early and draw often, is what I say. So we'll have a daily drawing challenge. We're going to have some art tips and advice while I draw. And then I'll be answering your questions in the live chat and comments. I actually do have one question from yesterday that came in, so I'll be answering that a little bit later. And today's drawing challenge. So we'll just get right into that. So good morning, everyone. I've got my coffee here. Cheers. It's a nice blended roast of some kind. Morning, Steph. I'll just give a couple seconds to some people to stream in here. I know that some people kind of come in. I don't want to start without anyone in case you're drawing along, but you may not be. I've been busy working on my job that starts around 9 a.m. is working on the daily comic strip for V-Friends. Hope you check that out. Let me switch my view back here. All right, so today's drawing challenge. I'm going to go ahead and reveal this first. Let's pump up that eraser. It's a draw or die challenge, meaning today I'm going to let fate decide what I'm going to draw. So it looks like, just going to erase all that. All right, so I'm going to roll a dice and I'm going to draw that thing in the next timer here. Within the next 30 minutes or so, we'll talk a little bit of art. You can, again, throw your questions or comments in the chat. We'll get to those. Good morning, Paul. Based Art Department. Thanks. First stream of yours that I caught. Glad to be here. Thanks for being here. Check out Based Art Department. Putting that on stream so I can double check that later. Check you out. All right. So funny story is that I was looking around my desk here and I don't see any of my dice, which is really rare. Like, I usually have dice everywhere. I've got a 20-sided die here, hold on. Okay, got another idea here. So we're gonna switch this up a little bit today. And I'm gonna just do some paper. And luckily, this is not planned. I seriously do not have any of my dice on my desk. I usually have some there's a fuzzy dice around here too somewhere. I don't know. But I got this pencil topper that has 6 just for emergencies like this. So some emergency drawing. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just roll this down. And then, maybe I'll just draw this on paper this morning. So to kind of show you. All right, it is a 6. Right? That's 6. A cactus. All right. I really wanted to draw a werewolf, but I'm just challenging myself here. So I could skip ahead and just do that. Another hand view here. Oh, that's a good, really liking my camera emergency drawing kit. It does. I actually had a pencil pouch thing designed, when I was playing around. All right, so today's drawing challenge is cactus. I'm going to go ahead and just move this up a little bit more. And this is the idea that, also yesterday, I was just having this conversation with someone where they're like, do you still draw on paper? Because I draw a lot of digital stuff. But yeah, I draw in these notebooks or, got field notes here. I got a ton of field notes, but I've got my own notebooks available at Draw or Die Co. probably link in the description, and we'll get back to that in a minute. So today is just cactus, right? I'm going to try and make that kind of interesting. I don't know why we've got the grid on. Well, it's kind of fun that there's a grid there. I don't know why there's a the focus grid. It kind of helps me kind of position this, though. Let's say. All right. So I can't draw small and like zoom like we do on the iPad. So I'm just going to get right into drawing like a cactus of some kind. And I'm going to also change my lighting a little bit just to do that. I don't need to do that, actually. I can put another little light here I can turn on. I usually don't turn on. It doesn't really make a difference. Let's just go. All right, so cactus. The first thing I think of is, I mean, I'm in cartoon land lately, so I'm doing a lot of cartooning and stuff. So I'm just gonna draw a shape that kind of zoom in a little bit more for you. Yeah, so today's drawing prompt was I rolled a 6 and it was cactus. So, I'm just going to go with that classic. That's what I always try to do with these prompts. So we'll get back to talking about that in a little bit. But, the first thing that comes to mind, I'm going to draw that. And when I think of cactus, I think of the stereotypical sort of cactus thing going on, right? But then there, I drew a cactus. We're done. Bye. No. I'm going to actually change my view a little bit here. Whoa, that's super zoomed in. All right, let's zoom out there a little bit. Wow, you can actually see my fingernails. That's weird. All right. All right. So I'm just going to kind of go with that shape, and then I'm going to start having some fun here as far as like what's going on. So this is the part where if it's a warm-up drawing and I might spend 10 minutes, 15 minutes working on it, I'm just going to start playing around. Like, where is this cactus? Like, these thoughts are just going to kind of keep going through my head. Digital is way based art department said. I love drawing physically, but digital drawing is way faster to correct. Barry has a whole backpack packed of emergency supplies, emergency art supplies. I've seen it, I think. So I can confirm. All right. So yeah, if it's a simple drawing prompt like cactus, I usually don't do one-word prompts in the club, but I'm going to sit here and go through some like thoughts in my head just as a meditation. If you all weren't here, I might just be like just thinking about it, thinking about the shapes of it. And it's kind of like a nice little meditation. I didn't think I was going to be drawing a cactus this morning. I thought I was going to be drawing like a werewolf or something. But I'm going to go ahead and, make this into a cartoon. It's easy. Put some eyes on there. And a little background. And that's the simple thing, like you don't need to overthink your drawings. And actually, honestly, if that's the only time that you had to do, I'm only 9 minutes into this stream and only a few minutes into this little sketch, that's fine. So if you are off to your day job, here we are at 7:09 a.m. I used to commute to my other work at around 7:50 or something like that. I'm already up and ready for the day. It is very tempting. I just want to like zoom in and work on details. That's one of the is he a happy cactus? I don't know yet. Let's figure that out. Let's figure out the story. So I'm thinking as I'm going through this process, and it's just kind of meditative, I'm like sort of thinking to myself, what is going on with this cactus. He's like, maybe he's stuck in the desert. And he's just kind of feeling a certain way or something. Isn't that like, you can start with just a basic shape and move on, or you can kind of start adding some imagination to it. There's a little river back there. Just to kind of fill that up. And then maybe there's like a skull here of some kind. Let's not make it a human. Let's make it a steer or something. It's missing a horn. So yeah, I just let my imagination kind of go with it. It doesn't have to be perfect. No one's gonna see it. I mean, unless you're doing a live stream like this, separation there. And I'll switch back to the iPad here. So I think switching is a good thing. That's someone base art department mentioned of digital. I'd probably do 95% of my art. My published art is all drawn on the iPad. But getting in here and actually working on some of the little fundamentals, I'm thinking about things like the shape of that. Let's kind of bleach down with that light on. Let's turn the light out. That's better. Okay, I don't even need that little lamp light. So yeah, I'm just thinking about, you can see the little lines that I've made. I'm always thinking. So like there's a lightning storm. It's not very good, guys. If this stream goes out, I'm in a storm. Nice knowing you. But like, I'm thinking of the shape of the three-dimensional thing. Like that, we see these lines inside of our heads when you know how to draw. It's like a tube that's been bent, right? So that's kind of so since there's a lot of people that watch and send me messages about that would be the fundamental of it. It would be like a piece of macaroni or something like that, like a cylinder that's been bent, right? And you gotta think like that action. It's nice, even if you know how to draw and you're slamming through drawings like I usually am, to kind of just stop and work on some fundamentals. Thinking about those. I was going to do a whole week of this, of just like, let's just work on these tubes all day, but it'd be kind of boring. So I figured I'm just making it up on the fly right now that maybe I'll work on some of these things while I'm drawing the actual piece. I think is good. So if you're out there wondering like, wow, he made that really fast, I kind of see these shapes in my head when I'm drawing. So even that main cactus figure is kind of, yeah, don't even comment on that. Fine. Get your mind out of the gutter. I'm putting like a wire grid on that. Does that make sense? I'm just thinking about it in like a wire frame. The curves, the tubes. And, like I was saying, if you're out there and you're stuck at a job or whatever, and you're thinking about, I don't have time to draw. Well, here we are. It's only 7:14 and I've got a cactus without a face. Right? The cactus chastity cage, yes. Werewolf skull. There you go. Now you're thinking. Let's go back to view here. Zoom out a little bit. This is kind of fun to. My cat wants out of this room. This is a great part of live streaming. Miss Peach just likes to go in and out, in and out. She'll knock in a minute. It's kind of breaks up my. Ugh. Werewolf skull. All right. Well, werewolves don't have horns, so Morning, Sarah, without an H. Morning, Dan. A werewolf skull would have like teeth like that, right? Maybe a little bit of like old hair on it. It's really funny that I'm working on that comic strip for V-Friends, and we have 1,000 animals. And now when I think of characters, I think of well-connected werewolf. Just ridiculous. I'm always gonna like when I hear an animal name, I'm gonna know the attribute for that animal. You know. Okay, cool. And then this is silly, like no one's gonna see this. In an ideal world, no one's gonna look in your sketchbook, but you never know what might pop off too when you're just doing exercises like this. This might be. By the way, today's prompt was a dice prompt. Today's challenge was cactus. I rolled a cactus. That's all I started with. So I just started drawing the shapes, thinking about what's around. We might even think about playing with some light source here. Like the sun's back there and it's casting. Then we've got a shadow casting here. So this is just a chance for me to just work on some basic fundamentals and not even care. Like it's not going to be published anywhere. I mean, it might be on a live stream if you guys watching, but I'm not too really worried about perfection or anything like that. So try to not overthink what you're doing. And if you're feeling really stuck, you could just start like, if I were starting this again, I might just start like this, scribbling something out like over here, like for almost like a different style of. I might just start loosely and then get in. And I really want to. We talked about that. Sarah talked about that. Like we were constantly pinching and zooming. I really want to get in there and, but like I've seen these. These crazy cactus gardens out west, and they've got like little tiny cactuses growing all around. I don't know what it's like a visual memory of what I saw. We've got these kind of like dome ones. Right? Yeah, so it's all just about drawing something every day. And if you can't draw every day, draw as early and often as possible. Start your day off really well. Makes you feel good. This is day 3 of this daily drawing stream, and I feel pretty good. I feel, even though my job is drawing all day as well, it feels good to just get up and work on some of these. The more you do it, like fundamentals, like shading and just a little bit of, not perfect. Don't worry about that. And yeah, I've got some fancy sketchbooks. I've got all the you got a lot of fancy tools, but really all you need is a pencil. You don't even need this fancy pencil, although Blackwing makes the best pencils. Shout out to Blackwing. But we're only, it's 19 minutes into this stream. We've got a little fun cartoon cactus. Another point that I've heard some other artists make about their sketchbooks, I think even like Chubblegum has said this, and a couple other artists that I know, is that could turn into something. Like maybe it sparks an idea and a quote or something, like what if this guy's like, why is there Floating macaroni. Silly. But that's just what I hear him saying. Right. But something like this something in a sketchbook might pop off and you might sell stickers of it, or you might monetize it. That was the question of the day, by the way, too. The question that came in, I'm going to go ahead and transfer back to my iPad. Here. Switch this scene up. Okay, so that was the around here. That was the cactus. You know, I could cheat and roll until I draw a werewolf, but let's just go with the rules. So that said, the question of the day, and I don't have it written down here, was how do you know when you want to transition? I can find my transition to selling your art. So I'm going to talk about that for a couple minutes here. So I'm just going to sketch while I talk. I think that's what I'm going to do. Just kind of free flow a conversation here about this. And if you want to talk about this, but the question of the day. I'll work out this template where I can just paste this in a lot faster. But guy sent me this message yesterday on Instagram, and he's like, how do you know when you're ready? How do you know? Sorry guys, oh my gosh, could just type this with the text tool too. But when you're ready to sell your art, to start selling your art. And maybe the chat, if you've sold anything in your life, maybe you have some answers in the chat as well. Based art department says, when people ask about it and you are broke. LOL. I would say for me, it's this is the biggest question I get, right? I'm gonna switch over to pencil here. I'm just gonna draw some dollar signs as I talk. But and I've got some other videos here on the channel that, if you want to read or watch my thoughts on how to make quick money with your cartooning, it's all there. My feeling is like, don't put pressure on don't put pressure on yourself to make money with your art. This is bad deal, right? No pressure. I think it's going to affect your art too if you're like constantly thinking like, how am I going to monetize this, or what's this going to be? Because then suddenly you don't really have a brand or an art style. You have, some just thing that's been shot out, right? Another way is to test your market, right? Test your friends. Like, put out that picture of the, like, this is a really bad example, but what if I have friends that like cactuses, and I'm like, I just put this on a print-on-demand shirt or something like that, or a sticker site, and I message them and say, hey, would you buy this? And ask like people that you actually know. And if they're like, no, I wouldn't. I was just reading a book and it said something about a taco. Like, would you buy a poster of a taco? They're like, no, but I'd like that shirt that you have with the taco on it, right? And then that was like an audience signal. So listening to the signals out there around you, and not like don't chase. So that's another thing. Like, listen to signals. Listen to signals around you. And that means, are people telling you what they want? And is it something that you want to do? So for me, I used to get a lot of like, will you draw my dog? Will you draw my cat? Will you draw me? Will you draw my uncle? It was always caricature stuff. And that's what a lot of artists are going to get that. Or would you draw my tattoo? That's another one that I get a lot of. But listen to the signals around you, but then do what fits for you. I think that's do what fits. Go bigger here. Do what fits for you. We're just kind of like working out these ideas here live. If I was answering this question, the question was, how do you know when you're ready to start selling your art? And I said, no pressure, right? Then listen to the signals around you. So is there what we call a market for it? Is your art good enough? So Dan says he puts a lot of pressure on himself to improve. So if you're in that stage and you're feeling that, then that's what you should be doing. It's just drawing. So you're listening to your own signals, right? That's another thing. Like listen to your own signals. So do what fits for you. So if you're in the stage where you don't feel like your art's good enough, or like, don't let that hold you back though. Like, because your art may very well be good enough and you're just shy or not wanting to ask. And that's the problem a lot of times with people that aren't making money with their art. But do only what fits for you. So for instance, I'll give you an example. I used to do tattoo designs for people when they would ask me. They would say like, hey, will you draw my tattoo? And I would do it, when I was young. And then I got to know tattoo artists and they were like, man, we really hate it. Like I got to know like some tattoo artists. This isn't all tattoo artists, but they were like, man, we really, this art that you brought is great, but we really wish that they would just let the tattoo artist do the idea and let them be the artist. So I stopped doing tattoo designs because I was like, well, they're paying me to design the thing or whatever. Not much money, by the way. But then they're taking my design and saying like, I want this man's art. So basically then the tattoo artist felt like they were just tracing things. And that's kind of a common feeling that I've heard a lot from a lot of my tattoo friends. So I don't do tattoo designs unless it's someone I love. Like if it's, I get asked that a lot. I just don't do it because I feel kind of like that's for them to do. That's for that artist to do. I'll do caricatures occasionally. So like caricatures, but I don't want to be one of the, I'm nothing against anyone that can do it. I don't like it. So what I'm saying is like, do what's best for you. Is like, I don't really like to do caricatures. I seem to be pretty good at likenesses. People like that, and I'm good with that. But I wouldn't want to sit there at a parade and draw people live. I just can't do it. My brain just wants to explode. So that's not right for me either. Like, what's right for you? Are you going to draw someone's pet? I don't know. But maybe if you're really good at it. What I'm good at is, and I've started to lean into knowing that like I'm good at cartooning. Like I can pretty much jam out some cartoons at any time. And I think that's the, let's see, I'm really zoomed in there. Let's zoom out so you can see that I'm on my iPad here. Right. So that was the question of the day yesterday. And I get this a lot in different stages. Like, how do I know when you're ready to start selling your art? Don't be delusional about it. So don't be delusional. You won't know that you're being delusional because here's a quick story. You've drawn something cool. Don't be delusional. You've drawn something cool and you've put it on a t-shirt right? And I've seen this a million times, especially at my old job. You put your design on a t-shirt and then you're like, hey, everybody, it's for sale. And nobody comes, right? No money. I like to do this too. I like to think in like icons as I'm telling a story. I think it's kind of good exercise for myself for storytelling too. So don't be delusional. Don't just put your art out and think like, I like this. There must be other people that just like this and they're going to give me money, because what's going to happen is you put your shirt out, you put your sticker out, your product, and you didn't ask anybody if they wanted it. You've made no money. And then guess what? What happens then? You stop drawing. You stop making art because you're like, why bother? Right. And then you find Draw or Die brand when you're feeling that way, because you're like, what happens usually is, why bother? I quit. And then inside you're like, but I really want to do it. But I miss it, right? You kind of miss drawing. So on times when you're taking a break or just like exhausted from work or something like that, and that's the path, right? So like, how do you know? It's not by throwing your art on a t-shirt and just putting it out there and then you're going to feel like no one's bought it. And then you're going to stop drawing because you've made no money. You're going to quit, and then you're going to miss it. And you're going to feel, bummed out. That's more like forlorn. There's my timer. So I think that's a pretty good message for today. It answers that question. A little more clearer would be, how do you know when you're ready to start selling your art? Well, you try. If you're ready to try it, and don't have any expectations of selling it. Really, like, don't think that you're going to make $1 million with it. Just know that you're ready. Listen to the signals around you and in yourself. So if you're feeling ready and you want to try, don't be afraid that you're not going to sell, but listen to the signals around you. If you're enjoying something, and then it has to be right for you. So if you don't like to do tattoo designs, don't do that. If you don't like to do caricatures, don't do that. But if you find people like flower portraits or something like that, here we go. Dan says, I'm not trying to make money at the moment. A problem I face is people, usually family members or acquaintances, ask me to do a drawing for them. And I'm a yes man, so I say yes. There's nothing wrong with that. Especially if you're not in that stage, just consider it practice, maybe. But also learn how to say no. You can learn how to say no as well in a nice way, like say, I'm just too busy right now, but maybe in the future, or maybe never in the future, And Dan says he's not fundamentally skilled yet. I struggle. It takes me a while from practicing, and I feel it sets me back. So the thing with that is, don't be too hard on yourself, because even when I draw stupid little things like this at my old day jobs, or pull a cactus out of a scribble, I'm not the best artist in the world. But the outside world, like you're saying to yourself, you're not a good enough artist, but the outside world is actually like, this is magic, right? So, and I say this a lot, don't forget that, drawing is magic. Other people are just like mesmerized that you can do this, So learn to draw small things and bank them up. like DJ draw a rocket ship, like cool. Like I'm gonna draw like icon of a rocket ship blasting off, right? DJ draw a dinosaur. Like I might just, draw a little stupid. Oh, he's sad. Now he's happy. All right, great. There we go. He's a freaking happy dinosaur. All right. Sad because the asteroid blasted him, and now, he doesn't even know. He doesn't even have a clue that is coming at him, right? So you're able to look at that. Like, I'm sure that you could know how to draw something that simple, right? So drawing small, drawing simple, keeping it simple, fleshing out the ideas. Remember that the outside world, outside of other artists, like we're going to judge. You shouldn't judge other artists either. I've seen that a lot. Don't judge other artists if they're in a different stage than you. Don't be like, oh, they suck or whatever. Like, coach them along. That leads us to the plugs. We have the Daily Drawing Club. There's a nice community there. I haven't mentioned that in the stream. We've got a Discord community. There's some members here in the chat. System of a Steph is in there every day. Sarah without an H is there. There's quite a few artists in the club. I think we got like 138 members of the Daily Drawing Club over there. There should be a link in the bio too. But you get perks. You get a daily email that comes out, 10% off your merch, and a quarterly sticker, which I have to actually order. It's designed. If you've seen the quarterly sticker, let's just check it out. I think it might be. It may be in here. Let's take a look. This is the quarterly. Uh-oh. Here we go. This is the quarterly sticker for Q1 of 2024. It's a little 5 a.m. Scully. That's our little mascot for the Daily Drawing Club. Draw or die. Because when you're not drawing every day, you kind of feel dead inside. Oh, wait. Let's take a look. This was the last quarter's sticker, and it was like metal. So it's Krampus drawing. This was Q3 sticker, and it was all glittery and prismatic. So try to do something nice. Allie does a great job of coming up with those. Draw every day, right? Go back to the main thing. So yeah, join that Daily Drawing Club if you want some community, or join these streams. Schedule it, put it in your calendar, show up. It feels great to draw every day, and it's going to make you feel so much better, even if you're just drawing a silly little cactus. You can find me on other platforms. I'm at DJ Coffman. Usually Instagram's my main place. I've been on X a little bit, mostly for the day job. And today I'll be making comics live at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I do a live stream. I think it's like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, usually in the afternoons right now as we're speaking. But if you check out @VFriends on all platforms and here on YouTube, I'll be streaming live across like Twitch, their TikTok, their YouTube, and I'm basically making these comic strips that I've been doing. I'll give you a little sneak peek here. I don't really show it too much over on this side of the coin, but I've got the VFriends comic live stream that happens. So the next one is, sometimes it's TikTok only. We're just kind of experimenting around, but today's will be 1 to 2:30 on all channels at VFriends. And I'm going to give you a sneak peek of today's comic strip. It's real simple. Clearly this glass is half empty. This is Cynical Cat, by the way, and this is Optimistic Otter. Looks half full to me. You're so wrong. And then Willful Wizard comes flying in, and he's like, "You're both wrong. It's overflowing." And then the cat's all wet at the end. Optimistic Otter saying we need a bigger glass. So to check out more of these comics, I've done quite a bit of them. Check out @VFriends. That's what I do all day, and that is today's stream. So I appreciate you checking in. I could keep going, but I got to get ready for drawing some more comics. So thanks for joining live. If you're watching in replay and you have any questions, throw them in the comments. Or if you're watching a replay and you've made it all the way to the end here, drop a comment and say that you were here. That's cool too. So there's a replay crew that watches it. So really appreciate you guys. Have a good Wednesday or whatever day it is for you. And see you back here tomorrow at 7 a.m. for the Daily Drawing Club, the raddest drawing club on the planet. We'll see you soon, guys.